What up guys, this is Brandon with The Confident Man, and today I'm going to show you how you can pass social tests 100% with 100% accuracy. Let's get into it. So first off, what is a social test? This is something done by a lot of people, really unconsciously, though some people do it consciously, but mostly it's an unconscious test of a person's character. People use it to see if someone is actually bringing what they say they can bring, or someone is actually the person they show that they are. For instance, if someone's trying to come into your life as a friend, that you give them a certain test, versus if it's a partner, it's a whole different test, and each of these tests have its own difficulties. But today I'm going to share with you a way you can pass these tests 100% of the time. The perfect way for going about thinking about social tests is, first, why do you use it? And we use it in order to, one, select the people we let into our lives, to see what they're made of. Think about it. When was the last person you met? Think of the last person you met, actually. And I'm sure you probably tested him or her in some way to verify if this person is actually who they say they are, if this person actually can bring value to your life. So when testing people, we usually have things we're looking for. We usually have characters we're seeking out, especially if it's in a partner or a very close friend. We're looking for certain characteristics. But what if you're the person getting tested? There's no way we know what the other person who's doing the testing is looking for. And sometimes we want to know that because it'll make passing these tests a lot easier. The first step in passing any social tests or shit tests when it comes to women is, also I really hate that term shit tests, because shit tests don't really exist. They don't really exist, but I'll get into that maybe in this video, maybe in a different video. But the first step you want to take in passing social tests is creating your own value hierarchy. What that means is you're going to have things you value, like honesty, integrity, loyalty, whatever it is for you. It just changes based on the person. So you're going to have these characteristics, and you're going to stack them up. The ones that are most important will be up here, and then the ones that are less important will be down here. How does this help you? Alright, so the first thing is the stuff that are on top, the things you really value. Know why you value them. Know why they're important to you. Actually give them a concrete foundation in your life as to these values. These values on the top of my hierarchy are the values I will live and die by. This gives you a reason to hold them strongly. And if any kind of test coming from anyone else counters these values, these top values, you know how to tackle them. For instance, let's say you're a person who values honesty, and someone comes along trying to say you should tell a lie or you should do something that counteracts that honesty value you've chosen to act on. Yeah, some people throw away their values, especially if they don't have any concrete foundations in their lives, because some things are very nice to say. Saying I'm a person that values honesty, yeah, it makes me look like a good person, but do I really value it? Because how you can tell if someone values something is when push comes to shove, are they gonna stick by that principle? Are they gonna die by that principle? Are they gonna die by that value? A lot of us are just simply all talk. We'll say this, say that, but when it comes down to it, we can't back it up. And this is why people use social tests to see if can you back up what you're saying. So when you meet someone who tests you, and that test counters your value, you know how to act because now you know you can't break your values, because your values are more important than this person that's trying to test you. When someone tests you and that test counters your values, you just ignore that. If someone comes up to you and tells you to do something that counters one of the values you have at the top of your hierarchy, you don't have to listen to that. You can just ignore that, and that's what people want to see. A lot of social testing all comes down to, can this person in front of me stick with their values? Yeah, your values may differ, which is another important fact. But in the values you guys do share, can this person in front of you really stick to it? Because once you accept that person into your network, are they going to be a person who's going to stick to you, stick with you, or flake on you at the slightest difficulties? Because when push comes to shove is when people show their true character. And this applies to the same with women. Some men, I won't say most men, some men can toss out their values, their principles, who they are for women. And this is a very sad thing, because if your values, if you can toss that out so easily for another person, and most of the time you probably don't know this person that well, so basically a stranger, if you can toss away who you are for a stranger, no one's gonna want you in their network, because you're not a person who they can trust. Because when push comes to shove, you're gonna bounce, and no one wants a person like that. You've gotta know who you are first, stand on the basis of what you believe, and then see if she fits into your life. This is why I say it's best for a person to have their own concrete foundations of principles and values. Because if you don't have that, you're just going to be so wishy-washy, and no one will want anything to do with you. And the people who will accept you through your network are just going to use and manipulate you the entire time. And I don't think anyone wants that. So if you don't want that for your life, you should become a person of substance, become a person who can have what they believe in. And even if they're tested, even if it gets difficult, they can stick by what they believe in. Another advantage of having a value hierarchy is it makes you the tester and not just simply the testee. If you meet a person, guy or girl, who doesn't really conform to your values, what you can do is test them with your value hierarchy, saying, alright, I see what you're saying, and this doesn't, I'm not feeling this. So let's see if you have something for me. A lot of people are so needy to get accepted into groups that they can simply just, they don't even bother to see if this group that they're getting into is one that's worth it or not. And that's really important, because if you get into a network that you don't want to be in, that you have no place being into, but if you just want to be accepted, you're going to be miserable. You're going to get into this network and no one else is going to have or share your values, share what you see, because most people in the network are very similar. Alright, there's a saying that you're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I'm not sure if there's any credibility to that saying or not, but people in your life, especially the people you spend the most time with, definitely influences who you become. So if you're in a network that doesn't mesh with your values, well, 2 things can happen. One, you can stay in that network but be completely miserable because no one else is going to share what you see. They're not going to see what you see. Or 2, you can become one of them. You can change who you are and then adopt their value hierarchy. But if you can toss away your values just like that, then you're not a person. You don't have anything going for you. You just become another sheep in their system, and sheep are only good to manipulate and use. So that's the best way, the most foundational way I can tell you that you can really develop your own ways to approach tests, social tests in the world, because you're gonna get tested whether you want to or not. And you just like you test others are gonna test you. It's how life works, and it's very important. You do have to become a person. You do have to become a man that has something that they hold dear in their lives. Because the only thing people want is a person who can say, I stand for X, Y, or Z, and actually mean it. Because people are gonna see if you truly stand for X, Y, and Z. And if you don't, you're not gonna be any use to them. You're just gonna be another person that they cannot trust. Hope you guys got something good from this video. I try to make it as short as possible because this is one of the first ones I'm doing. But what I'm trying to do for this is I'm trying to answer foundational questions, because the goal of The Confident Man is to develop a person's foundation. Also, I take questions on the website, on my website, theconfidentman.com. So post questions and I'll address those in videos. And also we have members on the site, so they'll probably get to that too, probably before I get to it. And if not, I'll definitely get to it. I'll address it on the website and maybe in the video. So stay awesome, guys. Thanks for watching.